Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots. WrestleMania is behind us. It's time for fall. It's time for the Fall Brawl. So it's just me and Kyle this week. Kyle, how's life?
Life is life, and we're getting in the May, so getting a little warmer here.
Mm-hmm.
Getting cold again, then warm, kind of like wrestling.
Kind of like wrestling. So before we get into the show, which is Fall Brawl 98, just not as much news as before, but I do want to talk about something that's going on Twitter the last few days, and it's even on Blue Sky, and it just aggravates me to no end. And I don't engage because the reason I don't engage is that this is ridiculous that this is even a debate happening. Is that Dave Meltzer for 4 days now has been going on and on about how Hulk Hogan wasn't that important to wrestling. And the fact that like this is actually, I don't understand how we're the only industry where we have this debate. There's not NBA Twitter isn't debating whether or not Michael Jordan was important to people getting into basketball. Like you just don't. You sound like an idiot if you have that fucking debate. But Meltzer is going on and on and on about how everything would have been fine without Hulk Hogan. And I know you don't like Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan has attacked you multiple times in real life. No, I'm joking. I know you don't like Hulk Hogan, and I respect that people don't like Hulk Hogan, but these are the facts of my life, of my existence. If I turn on a TV in 1985 and it's Ric Flair or fucking Ted DiBiase on the screen because Mid South or Crockett got Saturday Night's Main Event, not WWF, I'm not watching wrestling. We're not having this conversation. The person who got me and all my friends into wrestling, the person who got me and all my friends back into wrestling in the 90s was Hulk Hogan. And to have this debate that anyone could have been in his place, Dave Bixban said it could have been Sergeant Slaughter. No, he's a fat slob. The only answer, well, there is one other answer, and we'll get into this. This is why, and the other answer is why I hate Dave Meltzer. But currently, the only answer to who could have done this in 1984 is Hulk Hogan. And you cannot like what he said in that bedroom. You can call him racist. You can call him a piece of shit. That's fine. But you can't deny reality. And the reality is the man for the job, the person that people wanted in 1984 was Hulk Hogan. How are your thoughts?
Oh, well, no, first of all, I did see the documentary. Documentary is
Oh, I
it's
didn't see that, by the way. I'm not watching it.
all right. I won't say anything about it. It's if you like, I mean, you're a Hulk Hogan fan, so you know most of it already,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's just want to hear the terrible details of his personal life afterwards.
Yeah.
But um I've seen that going around too, and I know a lot of people are talking about like what WWE did was make WWE popular and it killed the territory, which is true. Territories died. But as much as I don't like Hulk Hogan, I can't take away from his impact. I can't take away from the fact that he got so many people in the wrestling, or if you want to be picky, he got so many people in the sports entertainment, and it worked. It worked. I can't see a world where it's Sergeant Slaughter, where it's Ric Flair, where it's Bob Backlund, where it's Junkyard Dog.
Oh,
That
well,
is,
no,
I know how
that
popular the Junkyard Dog was.
that's the only other choice for me. That's
Oh,
the
is that who you were gonna say?
Yes, that is the
Okay.
only other choice. Now, there's two big ifs with him. The problem with him is the drug issues. If you could get him off drugs, he has a chance to become bigger than Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Everyone was on drugs. People who you don't think were on drugs were on drugs. Bret Hart was on coke every fucking night back then.
Yes.
So it's almost impossible to not have Junkyard Dog do drugs. But Junkyard Dog, and not so much this Hulk Hogan thing. Well, let me let you finish your point, then I'll go on about Dave Meltzer and Junkyard Dog. We keep going.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to say that he's just a big deal, and it's not just Hulk Hogan. It's the package of Hulkmania. What got me watching the WWF in the 90s was seeing a large in life character, Hulk Hogan, get saved by in my brain, an even more large than life character, the Ultimate Warrior. These guys, there's it worked, you know, the energy, the gimmicks, the colors, the the personas, like it all just clicked. And yes, that is on a WWF level, but I don't know what you want. I don't know that it just worked. So I don't think you can take away that impact. I don't think you can take away the impact from 1996 either. He just was the guy. And I think the reason people debate it is because with real sports, Michael Jordan, you can, look at stats. LeBron James, you can look at stats. Babe Ruth stats. Wrestling, you can look at stats too, but some things are inflated and blah 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 blah. But I genuinely think that Hulk Hogan, Twitter has this thing where they don't want to give the person that they hate, or social media,
Yeah,
any
yeah,
credit
yeah.
for anything. They do it with Triple H a lot, and you don't have to like the person. You don't have to respect the person. You can think the person's a piece of shit, which is what I think about Hulk Hogan. And that documentary did not help, but he did the shit. He was a big part of it. He was the reason for a lot of people. You may not like it. You may like Mid-South better, but that just is how it is. And that's why you or anybody who's writing is writing today. Like you don't have to like it, but it's true.
And here's my problem. And this is the thing. If this was a debate amongst like just fans or like some younger 20-year-old who got into wrestling having this debate, that's one thing. But the fact that this is a 70-something-year-old man who claims he's a wrestling historian, who spends all day, he's had an issue with Hulk Hogan and Gorilla Monsoon and the 80 expansion of WWF since it happened. He's never given them credit. And I don't think he realizes because he's very mad about all this. He's mad about WrestleMania 1, he's mad about WrestleMania 2. You can go back and read what he wrote. He's not happy about any of this. That doesn't change the fact that I'm now a 45-year-old man and I grew up loving Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan is the reason why I know Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer also said, like, it's ridiculous to state that I wouldn't have a job if not for Hulk Hogan. Now, let me tell you something else about and I want to get in a rant about Dave Meltzer, and this is going to go into Junkyard Dog. So I get back into wrestling in 1998, right? I didn't know about dirt sheets. I get a black and white wrestling magazine with my aunt when we go to the doctor. And there's an ad in the back of the magazine for the Wrestling Observer. And the headline of the ad, this is an ad Dave Meltzer bought in 1998. The newsletter Hulk Hogan doesn't want you to read. And then it goes on to explain that Hulk Hogan burned the Wrestling Observer on the World War III, and it's because Dave Meltzer is the inside scoops. You literally used Hulk Hogan to get my attention. That's how I knew who you were. And that's why I subscribed to you, because I didn't subscribe to you until Benoit died. I went with the torch. But because I learned that there were these newsletters, because you used Hulk Hogan's name to get my attention, I found out about the torch and I got that one instead. So Wade Keller and Dave Meltzer got money from me because of Hulk Hogan. You used Hulk Hogan to get my attention. You used Hulk Hogan to get my attention, and you got my attention. That's how I don't know who the fuck you are. But the other thing about Dave Meltzer with this wrestling historian is that like I said the second wrestler who got my attention when I was very little and I was really into him was Junkyard Dog. Here he is. And Dave Meltzer has spent a lifetime degrading, downplaying, and being shitty towards Junkyard Dog and what he did. And to me, when you hear the story and when you hear from people in that area of what he did, of how he brought people together just on his charisma, this is a man, he's not in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. And Meltzer makes an arguments against it, which to me is insane. I don't know if it's racism. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that he didn't do a fucking triple moonsault off the top rope. I don't know what it is. But he has done more. Junkyard Dog should be a national hero. Junkyard Dog should be a person there should be a movie about this fucking guy. This guy really, really did a lot for that area of the country he blew up in. And the fact that Meltzer has constantly downplayed his significance and his contributions, not just to like wrestling, but to like race relations. I just think why the fuck do we still listen to this old man? He's biased in everything he's done. And you listen, you want to fucking, you don't want to like Hulk Hogan, that's fine. The fact that this guy is just, he should be a fucking hero to the world. And it's up to guys like Dave Meltzer to praise him. And instead, he's done nothing but bury the guy. And that to me is like, we just got to get rid of Dave Meltzer, man. It's just, why do we listen to this guy? He's rotted so many people's brains about wrestling history.
I mean, it's weird because it's really one man's opinion. I don't have like an issue with Meltzer.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was surprised he gave CM Punk Roman Reigns 5 stars. I was like, oh shit, didn't see
Well,
that
yeah, well,
coming.
that's a very old school match, so I could see why he would pick
Yeah,
that.
'cause he rarely gives any WWE thing 5 stars. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels doesn't have 5 stars, but
Wow, interesting.
whatever. Both of them don't have 5 stars. Craziness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people need to remember, and it just they don't. They just kind of take all his words as gospel.
Yeah, it's
Yes, he
crazy.
has the sacred text, as you want, if you want to call it. Yes, he's done a lot of work for it. At the end of the day, he is still a person with his own biases and thoughts, whether it's like conscious or subconscious. I forgot which is the right ones to say. But
Mhm.
he's a guy, and you can see his biasness in multiple things. Usually
Yeah.
against WWE, sometimes against AEW, but he can't like you're a human. You can't help yourself.
Hmm.
So I don't think everyone should take his stuff as word because it's not word. Like
It's not.
it's a matter of opinion. It genuinely is. But if you try and pass it off as word, that's where it gets tricky. Because at the end of the day, who are you? Who are you?
Yeah, and the thing about it is, with Hulk, even if I was unimpressed by Hulk Hogan in the '80s, all of my friends were into him. All my friends started wrestling because of him. So it's like, even if I'm like, I thought Hulk Hogan was fucking stupid, and now I like study ancient Egypt scriptures, um, I still can't deny the reality that everyone around me loved the fucking guy. So it's like, why are you denying this reality that happened? It happened. It was there. You know.
No, he's right. I mean, you're right. There's certain people who are just larger than life, and whether you want to
Hmm.
like it or not, Hulk Hogan was one of those larger than life people. I say
Yeah.
it all the time. I knew Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior before I started watching WWE. I don't know why. In my brain, I knew those names. I knew those people, and I was 5, I think, when I started watching WWE. I don't know how I knew who they were before, but they were just there. So when I saw them in '92 on the same page, that's what got me because the only two people that I knew are now at least like on the same side beating up these two people I don't know. So I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch this every week, and then they both go away. But
And
like certain people just have that aura, as the kids say, and Hulk Hogan is one of them. It's still one of them because we talk about him like he's still alive, and he died almost a year ago.
I know, and I mean, I never had when I posted. I literally like was on my way to the gym. And I posted how sad I was. I had people attacking me. I had the people who like don't even ask me how I'm doing attacking me for being sad. I mean, the guy was freshly dead. I mean, this is like what the reaction. I never got the reaction about anybody else, but like the reaction he inspires. It's like there's certain people that like it can't be taught what they bring to the table. And Hogan, I mean, not on this show. I mean, Hogan stinks on this show, but like there's certain people like what he brought to the table, like you can't deny it. And it's weird to me. Like, bro, I'm not a Kirk Cameron fan. I'm not. But I mean, he was the king of the fucking team mags. And who like it would be insane for me. I fucking hate the guy now. He's a piece of shit. But it's fucking insane to me to not. Oh well, no, well, nobody liked him in the '80s. Nobody liked him. The girls didn't have crushes on him. Like that's what are you talking about? That would be insane talk. It's just what it is.
No, they do with everything. I've seen it in the anime world. There's like almost like Dragon Ball Z smart fans and Dragon Ball
Mm-hmm.
Z like not like I guess not as smart fans, casual fans. And because anime was dubbed a certain way in the '90s, they would change music, they would add like corny '80s kind of jokes and things like that. They're going over this with a fine-tooth comb like it's 2026. And I was like, dude, this is from like 1999. Like it was done differently. People still enjoy it. Some people still enjoy it. And you're mad at them for enjoying it. And then on the flip side, they get mad at the other people too, being like, which I don't think is right. Like the disrespect the Japanese version. Don't do that. But it's
Yeah.
just how people think and act and react now. And it's really mostly social media. I think if you went out into the real world, And for the most part, you talk to somebody about Hogan, well, talk about just the wrestling stuff. So someone's gonna have a good memory, depending on their age.
Yeah.
But it's similar to comedy in a way. I was talking to someone about this because they were asking me. They're like, "Well, how do you not get canceled, or how are you not afraid of getting canceled all the time?" When I talk about fucking dating, I'm fine. But no,
Well,
but seriously, I when you go to these places, like they just want to enjoy themselves. As long as you
yeah.
don't go out there and you're not like you stupid redneck piece of shit. And some people do that and get away with it and have a good time. Or they do the same thing about the liberals. People aren't as intense as they are when we see them on the internet. Some people like just want to see a good show, enjoy the show, and it's not a problem. And I think the internet just makes things more intense, more worse than it actually is. And this
Oh
isn't
yeah.
me,
I mean,
but
the great example is like, I mean, and I have no interest in this film. That's a whole other conversation. The Michael film, people were acting on social media like it was going to bomb and nobody cares. And you're an idiot if you want to go see it. And I mean, it's shattered records. And people on social media are like, oh, it's like, well, because this isn't real life. Because I think if you post all day long on social media, there's something wrong with you. Like Dave Bixby has issues that need to be addressed. But it's like you're not a real person. Like you're not in not, whatever that says, good or bad. That the fact that people ran into that movie. The one thing I mean, I look at it like this: Michael Jackson, everything he did in terms of performing was perfect. I don't need to see I don't need to see a ripoff of it ever. I just can watch him. And then there's other issues with him, which we'll get into some other time. But that's but that I know I'm in the minority of that, you know, and I think a lot of people don't are not in touch with reality on social media. They make up their own reality.
yeah, it's gotten worse. And you're also in this like echo chamber of people who agree with you. And there's a rush. There's a rush you get because I wasn't like a troll, but I would
Mhm.
live tweet Raw every week, Raw, SmackDown sometimes, and like when people engage with you and they like this and they like that, or if you go to a wrestling show and like, oh my God, let's keep it 5 star, like it's a good feeling. But I think that especially during and post pandemic and post two elections, three elections, and past three
Mhm.
elections, everyone has just gotten so much worse at comprehension, at context, at black and white. Like it's shoot first. Don't even ask the questions. Just shoot first.
Yeah.
And it's no matter what it is. I know you're talking about wrestling. You're talking about Michael Jackson. It could be anything. Remember that fucking Bean Dad guy from the beginning of 2020? And then people spent 5 days yelling about this guy who I don't give a shit. He's some weird ass parenting lesson that he tried to do with beans and it was stupid and dumb, but people made this their whole fucking personality for a week. Like this is just what people do. And I don't know if it's because the world is just not the way anyone has envisioned it was going to be, but it's just annoying. Like it's social media is very someone who has worked in it and will continue to work in it. It is just not fun 9 times out of
It's
10.
the worst. It's the worst it's ever been. There's no escaping it.
It's not
Like
fun.
Twitter is bad. Threads got bad. I think Threads has been invaded by bots. I think negativity increases monetization. So I think a lot of bots have been put in, like AI have been put into Threads is really bad. And Blue Sky. Blue Sky is notable. The wrestling fans there are like completely. I had to block him because this one guy was like just completely demented. I don't understand if you love AEW why you post. There's so many people who claim that they hate WWE. All they do is post about WWE. All they do is post about WWE, and they're more on tune. I had a day where I was like running around and I checked Blue Sky, and some guy like made 5 posts about all the WWE news that I had no clue about. And I'm like, you are more into WWE than I am, and I'm a fan of WWE more than AEW right now. And you somehow who hate WWE know everything about it. You know everything about it, and I had to block because it's like, and it's always this fucking patting on the back. Oh, I'm such a good person. I watch AEW. You want to be a good person. You want to be a truly good person, Kyle. I'm gonna say this, and don't watch wrestling because everyone's evil. Everyone's evil. British Bulldog was drugging his wife, and I'm about to like make when we talk about him, I'm about to feel bad for the guy. British Bulldog would drug his wife and then have sex with her. Like, just don't watch these people. Like, just don't watch wrestling if you want to feel like you're a great person. Watching wrestling means you're compromising and you're giving space in your heart to at least one horrible person. So, like, I've accepted that, but I'm not grandstanding that I'm a great guy because I watch wrestling. I'm actually a horrible human being.
I think that's most of us. I think any media that's consumed, anything now, like it's all the fucking same. Like
Yeah.
you can be high and mighty about wrestling, but you still sorry, you still use Amazon. Like there's no win.
Yeah.
So just kind of I don't know, take your pick your evil, I guess, and pick
Yes.
your poison, and don't be that much of a dick. I see it on the other side too. I have seen the WWE fans attack AEW. I've seen both. It's just like it's so stupid because then you'll see the actual wrestlers in the comments being like, "Yeah, man," like talking to each other, or like Charlotte shouting out like a Shotzi who's not in AEW, or Ciampa and Gargano or some things like that, and it's the fans. Like the fans, I think a lot of these people also young and they miss WWF versus WCW. And the good thing about that is you did have the internet, but there were forums. It was it wasn't in your face. Like if I went to the WWF AOL chat room, somebody
Yeah.
would not have started attacking me immediately about WCW. You would have to go to a certain forum or a newsletter or whatever other chat, and that's where you would find it. Now everything is in your face. You have the For Yous, the Explorers, all that stuff, and you can't get away from any take, good or bad.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is people would have excitement when someone jumped over. Like, what is this guy gonna do over here? What's his flavor gonna be like? It wasn't like, oh, like, uh, who was it? Someone that jumped and jumped back. I'm trying to think. Like, nobody was like, oh, don't rehire. I don't know, like fucking Gold when Goldust got rehired from WCW later on in 1999. Nobody's like, don't rehire him. He broke the rules and bladed when he wasn't supposed to blade, and he stunk in WWF. Like it wasn't like that. People were like, oh, what is Dustin gonna do in WCW now? And you know what I mean? It was like now it's like people like don't rehire Aleister Black, and it's like, well, he might have good matches in AEW now. I mean, like like why don't why sh- like I don't know what happened backstage, but as a fan, why do you not want this guy to get hired? That's fucking weird to me.
Yeah, they're also going off of whatever some of the wrestling people, I
Yeah,
think
typically
like
I
Sean
don't care.
Dean or something said it, or
Yeah, I don't care. This is my thing. I don't care if you don't like a guy backstage. If I want a good TV product, so I think Aleister Black has pretty good matches. So put him back on your TV. I don't give a shit that you don't like him. I don't care. I
I
don't care.
mean Tony, except for like a handful of people, seems pretty forgiving. I don't know
Yeah.
if Aleister Black is one of those people, but um, he's gonna have a lot of decisions to make in the next 90 days. I don't know if we're gonna talk about it in detail or not,
Yeah, I
but
want to talk the firing. Were there any firing you were shocked by?
I mean, Kyrie Zane off the bat, they all the news this week is coming out that she allegedly wanted to go back to Japan, and they just kind of expedited that process for her.
Okay. But
Kind of
okay.
weird to not close out the storyline. And who
Hmm.
knows? People are saying maybe they'll like bring her in for the backlash match, so she does her thing and then leaves. Although, then what? Like, doesn't really
Yeah.
make sense. Now they're saying it out loud, but the I think it was more disappointing. Alistair and Zelina, I was surprised because a year ago they hired him. The rest were more disappointing. Like I think the Machine Guns, although they are older, didn't get to scratch the surface. I think they were typecast, miscast from day one. They came in as these baby faces. I think we mentioned it before, or someone else mentioned it. I've been saying it all week. It was like when we watched the Rock and Roll Express at the fucking Royal Rumble and stuff like that. And the way they introed them, they were like, here they are, you know who they are. And these WWE fans didn't know who they were. But they're like, sure, you know, they're the tag champions. And they come out with the terrible music. They're these bland baby faces when they're awesome heels. They are awesome asshole heels, which I think they were starting to get to, and then they decided to just scrap the whole thing and fire them. So that was a shock. I mean, that was more disappointing. The Wyatt Six, although I saw like a gimmick change coming because they just got washed on SmackDown. I didn't think that's where it was gonna go. They were just gonna get rid of them all together. It's also disappointing. Like, you know, Zoe Stark, she got, I'm not like the biggest fan, but she got healed and they just let her go. That's another one. Um, I can't really remember the rest right now.
Um, yeah, the Wyatt Six, I think that was a big missed opportunity. Now I wasn't. Now here's the thing: I haven't watched SmackDown since I moved here, like not even a second. So I haven't seen anything of Aleister Black. I saw his match with Randy Orton because it was on social media after he got fired. Pretty good.
Mm.
They had
Oh,
pretty good.
Santos Escobar too, because they
Yeah,
also fought to get him, and then
they fired him, which is just such bullshit.
this is a terrible article. Men's Journal is like, who could be fired next? Like, this is fucking terrible to write about.
Were the Wyatt Six getting pop still? Because you watched
Yeah,
SmackDown.
yeah, people were cheering it. Like what SmackDown's problem, a problem with SmackDown was these feuds went on for so long. So they feud with like MFT for like 6 fucking months, and then you're just like, and the same thing happened to Aleister Black. He feuded with Damian Priest for 6 months. So did you ever play SmackDown versus Raw GM mode, the video game?
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan. I know you're a fan, but yeah. I played a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I,
Well, they used to do the thing when you had rivalries. They would have like red thumbs if you're doing good and the rivalry's good. And after like week 12, they would turn the thumbs down blue thumbs. And there's just a lot of blue thumb feuds because like this should have ended or the feud stops progressing for like 3 weeks and then they bring it back again. And you're just like, it doesn't help anybody. They have a real mid-card problem more on SmackDown than Raw. They have a big mid-card problem, and some of the things that worked in WWE and WCW, even in the late 2000s, they combined them. Why is there not a world where Cody Rhodes is fighting Johnny Gargano on like a SmackDown? I don't know. Maybe the ratings will plummet. I don't know. But like, and like, just something to show, okay, this guy's important. Let me watch this guy, and not like a complete squash. But like when The Rock would team with the Hardys, like people gave a shit, and then you want to watch the Hardys afterwards. But like they just don't do that, and then a lot of people just get screwed over, and then the cycle continues. Now. Ricky Saints is gonna be on SmackDown. Blake Monroe, Fatal Attraction, Fatal Influence had a
Mhm.
great showing. That one, very happy for JC Jane because she's been working her ass off. But they brought up all three of them. Like the crowd ate it up. So hopefully that goes well. But yeah, most of the time it's just like, what are you doing? Like I just don't understand it.
Mhm.
And then Jacob Fatu destroyed the whole MFTs by himself. So you're just like. Why do I don't watch them next week?
Did?
Yeah, because the Usos came out and then he like just beat everyone else up with a chair because they need they focus on the week or like the day. That's how it feels, and then don't think the feels that they don't think long term. Like, why would I care about Solo after this?
Yeah. My thing is with the firings that it sucks. However, they have been doing this every year since 1999. Right after WrestleMania 15, they fired a bunch of people, including the Legion of Doom, which was shocking for me at the time. But I mean, if they're going to do this to Legion of Doom in 1999, they're going to do this to whoever they want in 2026. It's
Yeah,
they.
well, unfortunately, it's not new. I mean, it happens in regular jobs too. People just don't care that much.
So it sucks, but also at the same time, there's no more house shows. Like in '99, I could argue like, well, why can't you just keep Legion of Doom and put them on Shotgun and house shows, right? I'm sure they would have loved that. But like, there's no more house shows. There's there's only main event. There's not even like there used to be two B shows. There's only one B show now. Um, they're gonna move SmackDown to 2 hours. Raw is barely 3 hours every week. And when you look at it like that, you gotta say, and this is gonna sound bad, how many wrestlers do I really need? if I only have 5 hours total because the house shows, you could fucking the Motor City Machine Guns, if there's still house shows, could be on every fucking house show for the next year and you're fine. The same thing. The last time I saw the Wyatts were on a house show, one of the last house shows when they did. There's no house shows anymore, so it's like you don't need a lot of these guys who would just basically have jobs to be on the house shows. Like you look at sometimes you think like somebody left, and they do like two more. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. You think he's done after King of the Ring? He does 2 months of house shows overseas with Yokozuna after that. And but like if you don't have those, what do you need Hulk Hogan after King of the Ring? You just go away. That's it. We don't need you. Bye, Hogan. But like you still got use out of these people, even if they weren't on TV. And so my thing is like how many wrestlers do you need? Because there's gonna be weeks and weeks and weeks where you can't put people on TV, you know?
I think an issue that also I think fans have with it is no one's written off. TNA does a really good job. They don't release people. They just let your contract go out. Unless like I think they released Mance Warner or Steph Delander. Now it's a different issue. But they do a good job of quote killing off a character, end quote. So in
Yeah,
terms of the Wyatt Six, they lost, even though they got the lantern back, they lost. Storyline wise, they're gone. This week Corey Graves kind of hinted at Kairi Sane never coming back in commentary. I think they would be easier pills to swallow. Because I think someone tried to say that was like, well, it's like television. Sometimes the character just goes away. Yeah, but they take the person off and give them a reason. Like Johnny Gargano, like Alex Shelley, like they just got eliminated in the Battle Royal, never came back. Unless the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is like, hey, if you don't win, you're out. You
well,
know, you're
they
like,
Vince was better at letting you know someone's getting fired. Like Vader loses a bunch of matches in '98 and then he's gone. You're like, all right, well the guy got his ass kicked and then he left.
yeah.
Like
Like Kairi Sane was on Raw that Monday in a prominent feud. And
yeah,
then they were
yeah. Carrie Sane won and then was fired. It's like
they lost, but so I guess she did get written off because she lost the match. But it's still I don't know. I think it's just as much as it's a fact of life and they do it all the time. You never want to see it. And it feels like with a lot of these people, they don't get the same opportunity that I'm not even saying to get like a Cody Rhodes. Like they don't get to me genuine opportunities to get over. You give them like dog food and then they don't and then it just doesn't then you blame them when it doesn't fucking work. And it's like how are the Wyatt Six gonna get over if they show up every 4 months? Like I don't know.
no, I would blame you. It's your fault.
I don't work there. It's not me.
Well, that's still your fault. Yeah,
But
it's
the Aleister Black is also confused because he beat Randy Orton, who's in the main event of WrestleMania.
that to me is I hadn't seen him because I don't watch SmackDown. To me, you don't put the guy on pay-per-view. You don't put the guy on Raw. You don't put like he's just been on SmackDown, and you haven't beat Randy Orton. And it's like I kind of feel like you didn't even get going with the guy. You kind of like why even re-sign him? Like why? Clearly, I almost feel like he was a mole, which is why people don't like him. I kind of
Maybe.
yeah, like I kind of feel like so clearly like you gave him false hope, which is what I think he had the idea like I need to get out of AEW, go back to WWE. I
Yeah.
think, and that's why he wasn't easy to deal with in AEW. But you kind of made him make his experience in AEW bad. All these people are going on and on about how much they hate Aleister Black. When he showed up and beat Cody in like a second, people were like, "This guy could be the next top guy in this company."
Hmm.
And I think that Triple H gave him false hope that he can come back, and he burned the bridge. And now you fire him again, and it's like, where is he? What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? I mean, I guess you go to TNA, and when you feel like it, you just pull him in and have him lose like you did with Dolph. But I don't know, man. It's just like you didn't really get going with the guy. And the Wyatt Six, they had a great haunted house,
Yeah,
and
everyone talks about how much they love the haunted house.
it was a great haunted house. And the thing about it is that like they always want to talk about World Wrestling Entertainment. We're not just wrestling. We're not just wrestling. You could have used those characters to create a great horror film. You could have made a horror film. And Instead, you did nothing and you fired them. And it's like every time they have characters that can go beyond wrestling, they don't know how to use them, and then they just fire them. So I think Triple H would have fired Undertaker if Triple H had been in charge in 1990. Undertaker would have been gone. Undertaker would have lost to Hogan and then been gone because he would have like lost interest in how to book a character like that. You know?
Yeah, I think he has issues with fun characters and like occult characters. So the day Tatum Paxley goes up to NX goes from NXT to WWE, fingers crossed, because I think she's like the only one left that she's kind of like, and Rhea Ripley technically is goth, but
Or like she collects labubus and shit. So.
she has the look at least. But it's yeah, there's something about them and funny character. Like they don't understand humor. They've always had issues with humor, but like characters who can be funny and characters who can be like spooky, they just outside of the Undertaker and Kane, they don't get, and then these people just get lost in the shuffle. You could have kept the YS6. This is not the best example, like the Boogeyman. Boogeyman still worked for them. He
Mm-hmm.
shows up every Halloween and does Boogeyman shit. Like, I don't know. Someone else said maybe they have to like cut a certain amount of people by Friday. Hey, here's the numbers. Get rid of people, and then they have to just make those cuts. So it could have been anyone that just maybe just went find who's making the most. I don't know, but it's just who's making like the least return on investment. But it just sucks 'cause I think there was a place for most of these people. And I think Zoe Stark they tried with so many times, and I don't know. She was good in the ring. It just it just sucks. All releases suck.
Yeah.
All like
Um,
spring cleaning releases, not like I choked somebody and got fired.
well, that's coming.
That has
Yeah,
happened too.
it's rough, but uh, life. We got to keep moving on. We got to move on
Well,
back
oh,
to
sorry, like I was saying, like you were saying, the start of this, Tony Khan has a lot to choose from. TNA, if they want to, has a lot to choose from. Japan, if they want to bring some people in, and even MLW, which I don't watch. I know people watch it. I don't watch it. Uh, I don't have time. There's so much fucking wrestling. There's a lot of options, a lot of good talent out there. So hopefully everyone lands on their feet.
I looked at some today's NWA Power Card, and I don't know who anyone was. Like, who the fuck are these people? Like it's crazy how much wrestling's on TV. But you know what's not crazy, Kyle? Actually it is crazy. It sucks. Fall Brawl '98. You ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
So this show, I remember, 'cause I got the videotape of this show and I watched it. I watched it the next day, live to tape. It was the beginning of my senior year of high school. This show is just shockingly, what the fuck is this card? It really feels like a Thunder that they charged $30 for. And this is the first card since, like, people shit on 1998, but this is the first card where it feels like they put no effort in putting this together, and they threw it together at the last second with no thought, with no effort, and it's not good. It's not a good show overall. What did you think?
No, I didn't think it was a good show either. I think maybe like one match, maybe two. That are like yay, but it's just weird. Almost like they gave up already. Like they saw SummerSlam, they saw what's going on with Stone Cold and The Rock, and they were like, well, Jay Leno didn't work, so we're just gonna we're just gonna keep going. That's
Mm-hmm.
just how it felt.
And the other thing that's really sad about this show is this is the last War Games match on pay-per-view. And I'll say this, man, 1999 stunk. But as the year went on, I'm like, well, I'm wondering what they're going to do for War Games. That'll be fun. And then they don't do War Games. And I think there is power in having a match that every year people look forward to. The best example of that is the Royal Rumble. I've watched the Royal Rumble every year, no matter how bad the product is, no matter how unwatchable WWE is. I will put on the Royal Rumble every year because I look forward to that match. And when WCW like gave up on the War Games idea, that was their match. That was their Royal Rumble. That was their like, well, WCW has this, and when they get like, first of all, they fuck it up in this show, and then they just give it up. And it's what's crazy to me is like they do one more that's half-assed on a Nitro, and the ratings for that Nitro are like through the roof. It's one of the last Nitros that does a good rating. This is in 2000, so it's like yeah, people like War Games, and they just give it up. This is it for War Games on pay per view. This one stinks. I don't understand it. Like you had something that people look forward to, and you just fucking killed it. You know, before you were even killed. You know.
Yeah, no, it's weird when they do that. People nowadays, people hate War Games. That's one of those reasons to not listen to at least WWE fans because they're like War Games again. Go back to traditional Survivor Series.
No.
5 years ago, you were like, I hate traditional Survivor Series. Why are we doing this? Whatever. Anyway, anyway, now War Games was one of the things I really look forward to. I only saw one of them, but I loved Elite. No, I saw like two or three. I loved Elite Lottery because I just remember Cactus Jack and Vader being enemies and having to team up, and they made a really good team. And I was like, yo, do this all the time. WCW had very unique ideas that they just did not, they would just abandon. And there's something special about something like War Games that like it's gonna be four teams. At some point you're gonna get to this. When it makes sense. Like was WWE like the last year or two, they just kind of been like here, and then the teams don't really make sense and it's just kind of put together. But when it's something that is put together and like formed and actually has a good cohesive story, coherent story, you're you're just nothing better. So that's why you watch War Games. That's why you watch something like the Royal Rumble. It's something that you're like, okay, this is gonna be awesome. And they just they just give up on these things, or they just like give like this match an example. Or when they would do like a TLC every year, and they're like, well, the TLC match now is Big Show versus Mark Henry because they're feuding. And you're like, do they hate each other? Nope. Cool. Just it shouldn't be rocket science, but it's not rocket science. They act like it is.
Yeah, and the crazy thing to me is this year you had the best hook for a War Games match. You could just do the Wolfpack versus Hollywood. You don't need the Warrior. You don't need DDP. You don't need this number one contender bullshit. And then they just like how or you like how do you fuck or you could even do like you could do like a big 8-man 8-on-8 NWO Hollywood versus the Horsemen and the Wolfpack. Like there's just so many things you could do that would have just been like and they don't do anything. Why do
No.
any of it? Why do anything? They just do this shit. And and the other thing is you have 5 hours of TV. No, no, not five, 7 hours of TV a week, including Saturday night. And they're setting up pay-per-view matches as when the pay-per-view starts with like vignettes in the back of matches. Like, why would the roster you have would anyone give a shit in 1998 about Ernest Miller and Norman Smiley? And you don't even like you could have set that up on Nitro and then promoted it, and you're just setting it up. It's like you're right. It's like they gave up. It's like this is where they just give up. They're like, I don't know, man. You
Oh,
know?
it's yeah, no, it's a really bad match. Oh, that match I remember like it came back to my brain because my friends and I used to make fun of the way Norman Smiley goes, "Hey, what's your problem, man?" And I don't know what I think that's the first time we heard him talk because he would just not talk and just be on TV. But it was just when I watched it again, I was like, "Oh man, I haven't heard this in almost 20 years."
Yeah.
But so that's the only reason that match for me has any type of significance, at least that feud. But it's just no, this it feels like this car was hit with a randomizer and not a good one.
And you don't have Bill Goldberg on the show, but
Insane too.
you have Silver King and Ernest Miller.
I mean, it could have Goldberg versus Silver King. I don't think it would have worked out for him.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you couldn't like have like Goldberg like I don't know, fucking fight Wrath or something. Like you couldn't do anything. You couldn't do like Goldberg versus Scott Norton with Hulk Hogan. Like,
Mhm.
like it didn't even have to be like a real match. He could have just fucking speared Scott Norton and pinned him, and people would have been happy.
I mean, they had the Jericho thing, so people thought Goldberg was coming out.
Thinks and then he doesn't show
Yeah.
out, and then there's other problems. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So the
Mhm.
show starts. Um, anyone can be pinned in. Tony Schiavone explains the new rules. Anyone can be pinned at any time. So theoretically, DDP could have pinned Bret Hart, won the match as soon as it started, and nobody could have came out. Which is like, why?
That's what
Why?
AEW does with the Casino Gauntlet. It never goes that way, but
But it's like, why would you even change the rules like that? Why? Or just do like a number one contenders match. Just do like a number one contenders tournament, like, and then have the finale be like DDP versus Bret Hart on the show. Why
yeah,
you do?
it should not be that hard.
No point. And then they cut to a video of Ernest the Cat being restrained by security. So they're setting up the cat storyline. So they're doing all these things to set up storylines on this pay per view that I guess they couldn't do on Thunder a few nights before because I don't know. I guess they had to have the Renegade fight Joe Gomez for 45 minutes. Then Mean Gene interviews Jericho, who has a lot of charisma. Jericho promises the crowd that Goldberg's going to be there, and Mean Gene goes, "I don't know about that." The crowd goes wild. They think they're going to see Goldberg. I don't know what they thought they were going to see because none of these matches were advertised, but maybe like people were just really excited. You know what? I remember people thought Ric Flair was going to return on this show, and then he doesn't.
They do chant "We want Flair" through like most of the show.
Yeah. So the first match, Disco Inferno, Alex Wright versus Jim Neidhart and the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. This is in a very important match because there was a trap door for Ultimate Warrior to come out later. I don't know if the boys knew it. I don't know if they were told to work around it, but Bulldog takes a bump on the trap door and he is never the same. I mean, he's already never the same. It is so fucking sad looking at him where he was a year ago at One Night Only or whatever the fuck it's called. Um, and look at him now. He's a fucking wreck. He's a wreck of a person, even before he takes this bump. And the match is just whatever. It's Bulldog gets fired for being injured on this match, and it's just like, what is even the point of this match? I mean, Bulldog Bulldog's life was ruined for a match that didn't matter. They hired a guy who was a top main event star in WWF, and he's nothing now. And the match sucks, and it's a big waste of time. And British Bulldog almost died, and for what? So fuck this match. What do you think?
No, I agree. It's a completely unnecessary match to have. It's a weird way to start the show, a wrestling match, because these guys are not that popular. Like it's not somebody that'd be like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah,
Bulldog and Neidhart stock dropped so much by that point, and Alex Wright and this confirmed their stock was also kind of just you almost had a little bit of fatigue because they've just been around for so long, and
yeah,
they weren't doing that much. So it's just a really weird way to start the show, and then of course the Bulldog getting hurt, the beginning of the end for him, and just completely unnecessary.
yeah. It's really unnecessary, and there's so much you could have done with Bulldog when he jumped over, and you just don't do it. And again, you know what? I feel like he just went unchecked with his drug use the past year, and look what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, I don't know
I
what their drug testing was like.
don't think there was any drug testing. I think he could have done coke in front of Eric Bischoff, but he would have been like, "Give me a bump." I don't even literally any drug testing. Uh, so backstage, I mean, look, say what you want, say what you want about Vince and a lot of the bullshit WWF, but a lot of these guys, and I'm using Kurt Angle and British Bulldog, they fucking fall apart the minute they go somewhere else. They fucking because there is checks and balances there. You can't say there's not. Like these, like Kurt Angle fucking gets arrested, he did that, and he's in TNA. He's having great matches in TNA, but his life is a fucking wreck. And look at the British Bulldog. Nobody checks in on these guys. That's why they go over these other companies. Like just fucking go nuts. Jeff Hardy, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's for selfish or monetary reasons, I mean, I don't think Vince McMahon is the. Let me be careful what I'm saying here. I don't
Yeah,
think he is 100% evil all of the time. He genuinely, in his mind, cares for the people. He cares for people in his own warped way. He cares for people, and like when he saw somebody like Kurt Angle, that was someone that he's been really close with for years. He was concerned. Now, I'm sure profit was involved too, but I think as a human being, he was also concerned. And when he's not there, there's no rigid system of WWE, like you said, to keep you in line. People go off the deep end. And thankfully, some people come back, but some people have not, and it sucks. And I mean, they do the rehab thing for some people, whether it's for selfish or not. I don't know. I've never had to use it, but they do it. You know.
Yeah. So we moving on. Scott Steiner's a coward. Um, I love the minute they drop this, he becomes the biggest star that they have. But he's a coward as one of Russell's brother. He has a note. This just looks so stupid how big Scott Steiner is. It just looks so dumb that they're booking him like this. And of course, JJ Dillon comes out and goes, "You gotta wrestle," and because JJ Dillon has to be on every pay per view. And yeah, so that segment, I don't know. I just looking back, it's like this is like Mike Tyson being like, "I don't want to box nobody. Please don't let me box nobody." Like fucking
Impression.
fucking like, come on, man. Like fucking Scott Steiner should be like, I'm gonna rip my brother apart, and like ran into like, it's really
Yeah, they had him playing a coward for some reason, and this has been going on for months because this was February he turned on him, and now we're in September. It's almost like an episode of SmackDown, how long it's gone that these two have not fought each other.
yeah. No, I know. And so yeah, so they're still doing this nonsense. So all right, so the next match, it's Jericho versus Greenberg. Jericho comes out. Ralphus makes his debut, one of the biggest stars ever in wrestling history, Ralphus. And the music plays, and everyone thinks it's going to be Goldberg, and instead it's Greenberg, a midget. And I was very entertained by this in 1998, but now I'm listening to the crowd boo because they realize they got gypped on pay per view, and not good. Now, I think Jericho's heart was in the right place. However, nobody approved this with Goldberg. He got pissed. And he basically tells Jericho after this match, I'll never work with you. Like, in other words, Goldberg thought Jericho went the business for himself. Now, it's pretty stupid because it's not like Jericho can hire a midget and and then just seize the TV time, right? Obviously, people have to prove for him to be on TV wrestling a midget. They have to hire a midget, But sorry, Jericho got the heat on this brother, not in a good way, and Goldberg wasn't happy. And not getting Goldberg's approval before you doing this was kind of stupid. But I mean, it's good heel heat for Jericho. But again, it's just like the crowd is like two matches in, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. No, we didn't get a big payoff for this Goldberg Jericho stuff. I believe he gets speared once or try or something like that. But we never got the match. We never got what this could have led to. Something that could have kept Jericho in WCW if everything was done correctly. I don't think it's entirely on Jericho to get the approval from Goldberg. That's not his job. His job is to wrestle and pitch, and whoever the road agents and stuff were just did not take that extra step or explain it to Goldberg or do something like that. It would be funny if Jericho just brought his own little person. Oh, midget little person. And then it was like, okay, I guess it's on the list. Even how ridiculous WCW was. But no, yeah, in hindsight, it doesn't work because this nothing fucking happens afterwards. Also, fans wanted to see Goldberg. And you don't they did this for Goldberg and do it for Ric Flair. They want to see these people. They've paid in theory on pay-per-view, you have paid and you're not getting any of it. So people are very frustrated. There's only match two.
What happened?
I said it's only match two.
And it's only match two. And more. I can't believe these were the first three matches that they charged. The next, so Mike today is interviewing Steve and Scott Armstrong. I don't know what for, but he's interviewing them. I didn't even know they were in the company at this time. Ernest Miller beats them up. Norman Smiley saves them. So now it's the Cat versus Norman Smiley. Ernest Cat Miller is already saying, I'm the greatest. This is the only thing he ever says for the next 2.5 years. I'm the greatest. That's his whole promo. I'm the greatest. These two have a match. And nobody cares. I don't care. I like both guys. I wind up liking Ernest Miller when he becomes the commissioner in 2 years. When Vince Russo actually does a lot for Ernest Miller in terms of getting him over as a person. One of the few guys he does that for. But this shit sucks. I mean, Norman Smiley was on Saturday. Like, if you're gonna, this is like WWF, like at Backlash, and I like these guys. So, I mean, Akira Tozawa versus fucking Brooks Jensen, just on the pay per view with like no like bill, and it's just this is just a waste of my fucking time. What did you think?
Well, besides the "What's your problem, man?" which I love, everything
Yeah,
else was fucking terrible.
that,
Um, Ernest Miller wasn't really anything yet. Norman Smiley wasn't anything yet. And you're giving these people TV time. The Armstrongs have to be like, "Hey, we never get interview time. That's bad. Don't point that out. Don't point that out that you guys are like losers who never get to talk to anybody." But that's what they did. And this match didn't help anyone. The crowd was bored, and it could have been somebody else, anybody else.
anybody else, anybody else on the planet.
Also, Apollo Crews is one of the people who got let go. I forgot. I don't. We didn't talk about him. He just kind of. They tried to get 1 point. They kept trying. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, the
I hope he
I'm.
goes somewhere else and just he's still young.
Is it bad that I'm surprised it went this long?
He did get hurt a couple of times.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Up next, and when this match starts, I'm like, the crowd is like really into this. It's Rick Steiner versus Scott Steiner. People waiting for this match. They're into it.
5 months,
Marquee match. Uh
7 months.
7 months.
Hmm.
At it. The crowd is so into it. The crowd is like so into it. And then they have Buff Bagwell get injured again a few months before Buff Bagwell broke his neck. It almost could have been like the end of his life, but he made it back. Uh they then spend what seems like an hour putting Buff Bagwell on the gurney. Um, the announcers put on the serious voice. They act like Buff Bagwell's gonna die. Even Rick Steiner stops. He kind of gets breaks and gets out of character. Everyone gets out of character. They slowly put him in an ambulance. Uh, Buff is screaming, "Somebody call my mom!" Uh, After all this, Buff and Scott get out of the ambulance. They hit Rick Steiner once, and that's it. And the announcers don't even like. The announcers are like, "Oh, I guess it was all a lie," and then they just move on. And this was such a what a way to kill this fucking crowd. What a way. Yeah, you have the heel turn was so hot. I get delaying it. I get the old school mentality, but to do this, to fake an injury of a guy who really got injured just for a bullshit like half a second punch to the back of the head. You got to be fucking kidding me. This was just a waste of time. Again, everything up until now has been a waste of the customer's time. An absolute waste. You can't even be like, well, this match had no purpose, but it was good. No, none of this has been good. You're just telling the crowd to go fuck themselves over and over and over again, man. What did you think?
No, I agree. It's a colossal waste of time. I will say they do a good job of making you seem like Buff Bagwell is hurt because it takes, like you said, forever. It takes an incredibly long time. That I was like, oh man, maybe something did happen, and then it's just another swerve. And after 3 matches of nothing, and then another match of nothing. How could you want to buy another WCW pay-per-view after that? Because this is the fourth match and like nothing has happened. You just spent $30+ I assume, um, or more if you were there live, and this is your reward.
Yeah, this is your reward. Just a whole lot of nothing, brother. Okay. Up next, they just forget about this whole Buff Bagwell thing. Up next is the Cruiserweight. Juventud versus Silver King. Um, And again, it's fine, but this just feels like something that would be on WCW Saturday Night. It just feels like we're spinning our wheels. It's not the worst match in the world, but it's like, why do I care about this? Like, it's just this was the problem with a lot of early WCW pay-per-views. They would just book matches to kill time because they didn't know how to fill up 3 hours, and this feels like that. This feels like such a retreat of everything they did in '96 and '97 and '98, and it's fine, but it's like, who cares? You know?
Yeah. I like Juventud as much as the next person. But this match, there was no point, there was no feud, there was no purpose. You're just like, okay, cool. It's not even one of the cruiserweights, no disrespect to Silver King. Uh that people like care about. Like it's not Ray, it's not Psychosis, it's not La Parca. It's someone that you don't care that much about. Taking on Juventud Guerrero, who you're starting to care about. And who cares? Especially after 4 matches of nothing.
Yeah. 4 matches of nothing. 4 matches that have ruined my life. Okay. Give
Although
me.
I believe it's not a good statistic, but Silver King was facing Juventud in the match that he passed away in.
Oh yeah. Well,
Was they were the last two. That was his last opponent.
yeah, that sucks. All right. Up next, probably the best match on the show. No, it is the best match on the show. It's Saturn versus Raven. This is the end of the flock. Raven's rules. If Saturn wins, the flock is set free. If Raven wins, Saturn's his slave forever. I guess to this day, that would be awkward. Like, like, hey, WCW's out of business. Can I stop being your slave? No. Okay.
I mean, they would have had some fun at WrestleCon, I guess.
I know. This is fucking great. I mean, this tells a really good story. This is the end of the flock. Raven and Saturn kill each other. Kidman turns face. This match sets up Kidman as a big time baby face. Really good match, and I was actually, it's really really good. It's like a whole different change of pace. These guys should have been rewarded for this. Obviously, they weren't. Nothing came out of this, but a really great match, and that's it for the flock. What did you think?
No, I thought this was definitely a match of the night. Could even be a contender for one of the WCW matches of the year if you want to be if you really want to think about it. They did a lot of false finishes, which they weren't doing at the time, especially between a guy like Raven and Saturn. And the crowd was into Saturn. It's another one of those matches when you watch these back, you're like, what happened after this? Because you have just set up two mid-carders in Saturn 3, Saturn, Billy Kidman, and Raven, and I guess Canyon, and nothing. Like I mean, they had feuds, and they did their best with Kidman. Um, but like it just does not go to the levels that it could go, especially after a match and a reaction like that. So you gotta question what happened there. But in that time, great fucking match and great culmination to the flock, which was an awesome storyline.
Yeah, great fucking match. And you're right, great culmination of a storyline. Really good, really strong match. Up next, the long video package, recapping everything between Dean Malenko and Kurt Hennig. A year ago, Kurt Hennig slammed the door on Ric Flair's head. Uh, you know, I think people thought that because everyone hated the finish of last year's War Games, that this was the like I would have booked it that Ric Flair got revenge on this show on Kurt Hennig. And they don't really do it. It's just kind of Malenko and Kurt Hennig having an average match. Not really. They chant for Flair. Look, this is building towards Flair's return, just so we all know. But it's I don't know. It's not. I don't know. It's okay. What did you think?
I mean, it's fine. The wrestling is fine. It's Dean Malenko, it's Kurt Hennig. You can't really go wrong. You can, but you can't go. Usually, you can't go wrong with those two. And then, so it's surprising to see Rick Rude take some bumps or take some hits, and Arn Anderson take some bumps, especially given their injuries. I know there were rumors that Rick Rude was trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, So maybe like his neck healed up after the few years, which would have been interesting in the 2000s if he was able to come back. But yeah, everyone wanted. It's another thing that everybody wanted one thing. They wanted one thing. This show, you just not did not give the people what they wanted. They wanted Goldberg, they didn't get it. They wanted Flair, they didn't get it. They just didn't give it to you. And yes, I get slow build, slow burn, but again, when you're paying $30+ and more in the arena, you want your fucking prizes. Like you want your reward for paying.
Yeah, you do, and it's like you want Flair to come. You want Flair to come back on this show. This is Flair country, and it's
Yeah.
a show where kind of Flair wasn't the same after, and people wanted to see him. You know?
Yeah. It's like watching one of these Spider-Man movies and like nothing, like you don't get to see any action. You're like, where's Spider-Man? I mean, they
Oh,
do them, Morbius and stuff.
imagine, imagine going to see No Way Home. I mean, yeah, No Way Home, and like there's just no Toby or Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, after all that hype, it's just him. You're like, oh, okay,
Oh,
cool.
all right.
Oh shit.
What did you think of them bringing Scott Hall's personal issues onto TV?
I didn't like it. Especially since was going through them. Like if it was something that he wasn't going through and he was just that good of an actor, sure. But he has a problem. It's like Hawk. Hawk had a problem. Why are we like making these storylines? Like that's not
Yeah,
helping them.
I agree. I did not like the fact that they brought these storylines into onto TV.
Hmm.
I didn't like that at all. I'm sure there are people. I don't want to know that Scott Hall can't control himself. He's doing drugs. I don't need to be that beat in my head. I guarantee you, Killer Kyle, that there are people that we know that are on TV right now that are struggling with drug problems. Right?
Yeah,
We don't need to know that. That's between them and their families. We don't need to
yeah,
know. So I just don't see there's any because to me it's like, what is the payoff? Because Scott Hall's a bad guy too. We're supposed to like want Kevin Nash to beat him up. So now Scott Hall's a drunk and a drug addict, and I want him to get the shit beat out of him. Where is the payoff for any of this?
you
And
want Kevin Nash to knock some sense into him, I guess.
I don't know. It's just to me, it's like this is not the way. And the same with the Hawk thing. And both storylines led to nothing.
Yeah, they both had to go away for a bit. I don't think Hawk. I don't know if Hawk comes back. I can't remember.
So, Rhea Ripley said she's battling a eating disorder. Can you imagine if on TV they just started Rhea Ripley like puking everywhere and stuff?
Oh, I mean, if a certain person was in charge and it was 2006, absolutely.
Great idea. I'm so glad you brought that up.
It's exactly what would happen. They're not
Get
like
me,
that anymore.
get me, get me, Hunter on the phone. I want to talk
She's
to
in
him.
the ring. She's tired about the faint because she didn't eat that day. It would have been so bad.
Wow, wow.
This
Vince,
this Degrassi episode's about this. We don't need it on Raw.
this is great. I love it. All right,
He would absolutely love it.
I love it. So real. Fans want to cheer for you now when every time you puke.
It's
Um,
gonna puke.
he's gonna puke. All right, here we go. Scott Hall versus Conan. I was about to say Conan O'Brien. Um,
Now it might have been more than 10.
Scott Hall takes a drink during the match. This is again, it feels like another TV match. Scott Hall again. Scott Hall just like Chris Bulldog. He's a shell of what he was. Match is fine, but it's just not. I don't know. It's just this is going downhill so fast, Kyle. I can't find anything positive besides the Raven Saturn match. I can't find anything positive to say about any of this. It's just this company just within it. Like there was still some good stuff at the Road Wild, and it's just going down the fucking tubes. Like you can't have Ming versus Barbarian again. That's how
Hey,
bad it is.
hey, they delivered, man. They delivered. Mega Barbarian, so I agree.
Yeah, it's just like it's going down the toilet like really fast. Uh, what did you think?
No, I thought it was like this is a match that could have been. I think they had matches earlier when Conan was like still a face and not like Cholo Conan. It could have been much better, and this just wasn't. They were so focused on this storyline about Scott Hall being drunk. Also, Conan's not at his top level that he used to be. Scott Hall's not at his level that he used to be. Just another ugh, thing that happened on the show.
Yeah, another like what the fuck is going on? Okay,
I did like
so
he was like, here's the tricky part about the when it comes to the NWO when he did the survey.
everybody says I'm on drugs. Okay, all right, here we go. It's WCW versus Wolfpack versus NWO Hollywood. By the way, the next line on the intro, Sting's going to take on Goldberg. I don't know why you don't just put it on this show. I don't.
Yeah, they
Anyway,
just announced it.
they just announced it. This is a fucking mess. This is a fucking mess. It's the worst War Games match I've ever covered since I started this podcast. Roddy Piper's beating up his teammate. Ultra Warrior comes out of the trap door, chases Hulk Hogan around. It's just a disaster on every level. One of the worst main events you'll ever see. I gotta say, I started this podcast today. Oh, Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hogan. 1988 is Hulk Hogan's worst year in terms of in ring, in terms of he makes one right decision, which is lose to Goldberg, and then he undoes all the goodwill from that the rest of the year. This is by far his worst year, by far, not even close. Um, he's very selfish with everything he does, and this match is every single Hogan match has been garbage since the beginning of the year. Like it's just like, oh, this is horrible. Even next year he has better matches, 99. But this is just a disaster. It's just a disaster. And DDP wins. He's got his match with Goldberg. But this was a really bad show. This was a show that felt like a slap in the face of the fans. This is a show. It's like it feels to me like you've unlearned all the lessons you've learned since 1996, and you're regressing. You're regressing not just as a company, but as a creative team. You're regressing, and I don't understand it. What did you think?
I agree with you. It was not a good match, not a good show. Something that like even with a new concept could have been maybe somewhat fun if you like actually put some thought into it. But it was really a one note thing. It was for the Warrior to come out, scare Hogan. I do like, and it's like another thing that like this is why when you're 5 years old, the Warrior's the fucking man. He
Yeah,
kicks the gate open to get out of the like he just psychotically kicks like the gate, the cage grates to get out of it instead of getting out of the ring like a normal person to chase Hogan. But outside of that, everything was a mess. Didn't even make sense that like Bret Hart got pulled down by Sting and Sting didn't even try and pin him. And then like I guess that's what kickstarts their feud. But like, why don't you try and pin him, or why doesn't Bret Hart pin you since you're so out of it? It didn't make any sense. And then DDP just hit the cutter, and we know why Stevie Ray was there. Um, it
take the
just,
pin.
yeah, it's just dumb. Really, really bad creatively. I know next month at least the main event is good, but I can't. Just bad.
Yeah,
It's
really
like they
bad.
forgot the show was happening and they had to come up with something really quick.
Yeah, really bad. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Like they just half-assed it, and they're like, whatever, people are gonna pay for it anyway. Just a slap in the face of the fans, and at a time when you can't, because as we saw last month, WWE is firing on all cylinders, and there's no reason to half-ass it like this.
I
There's just,
agree.
but that's what they do. They half-ass it, and then and then they all act shocked that they went out of business. So I say avoid. Don't watch this show.
No
It's
reason.
it
I
ruined
watch
my.
Saturn. If you can watch one match, maybe the Vault will put it up on its own. Watch Saturn and Raven.
Yes, watch that. Watch that. If you can find that, watch that. I agree with that. I agree. You know what, Kyle? Sometimes you say the right things.
I try.
All right, let's review the next 4 weeks. Next week it's breakdown. Breakdown 98. It's Steve Austin versus Kane and Undertaker. In 2 weeks, it's Judgment Day 98. Undertaker versus Kane. In 3 weeks, it's Halloween Havoc 98, DDP versus Goldberg. And then in 4 weeks, it's November to Remember 98, the triple threat versus the new triple threat, which consists of Taz, Sabu, and RVD. What are you looking forward to?
What am I looking for? I'm gonna go with Breakdown because I want to see that. It's the triple threat where they both pin Austin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spoilers for if anybody just following along for the first time, which I don't know why you would,
Yeah.
but um, yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to. I remember that match, like really liking that match.
That was a good match. I'm looking forward to Halloween Havoc, which is surprising because it
Yeah, that was a terrible main event.
yeah, but the other the cool thing though about it is that this is the first pay-per-view since '96 where the NWO is not the main event.
Hmm.
The first WCW only main event. Isn't that
Yes,
fun?
it is. The main
Yeah.
event's not bad. The cage match is bad. That's sorry, I mixed that up.
The Undertaker match, not Undertaker.
No, the main event's actually great. WCW.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, all right, that's it. Do you have anything to plug?
Character select May 2nd, Saturday, 6 p.m. at the stand. Please come hang. I have to use the bathroom, so I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you guys.